Welcome tech lovers, Brar here. Today I am going to show you the use of Docker run command with its example. This is the part 3 of Docker 0 to Hero series. DevOps in Action channel is more focused on DevOps in easy way. You always found complexity in simplicity here. Each video guide is available in video's description. Here will be only action as channel name is DevOps in Action. So let's jump to the lab without any delay. On my channel you can find out all links here and search Docker 0 to Hero series in my repo. And today we are going to cover Docker run command. So this is the basic one because we will deep dive in the Docker compose, but before that at least you must aware about the Docker run command. Docker run command is basically for dev and test environment. For production environment you must go with the Docker compose, which I will cover in the next session. Okay, so let me open terminal. Okay, here I added multiple Docker command, but before that we will go through one by one. So here I added abbreviation DIA equal to DevOps in Action. So we are going to use DIA in the name of Docker container. Okay, so first we will see the basic usage. Docker run command with available with the multiple commands. Let me show you something first. Once you type docker help, you can see multiple common commands available here: docker run, docker exec, ps, build, bake, and there are a lot of things available here. Okay, but I want to see about the docker run command. So type docker run help. Oops, we did mistake. Okay, once you type docker run dash dash help, you will get the all options related to docker run command. I already covered one video on the topic Linux commands, so I don't think so you need to remember each and every Linux command. For that at least you must watch at once my Linux command tutorial available on the YouTube, and I will provide the link in this description below. Okay, after watching that video I hope you will be understand all Linux commands. Okay, so let's jump to the our basic usage. Docker run, and the next command is rm dash dash rm. Basically what it does, it remove container after its execution. Okay, so let's see. Right now there is no container running, and my bad, there is no exited container. So once you copy this one and run here, basically it's doing to run Ubuntu and printing hello from containers from that container, and after that it's exiting, it's removing the running container. So you can see here it's printed container, and after that it's removed. Okay, there is no exited container, and there is no running container. The next one is the you can check your network connectivity using Docker container. So let's see. Again the command is same, docker run and dash dash rm. Basically dash dash rm remove the container after executing the command, and busy box is the image, and we are firing command ping, and we are testing that Google DNS is available or not. Okay, so you can see here it's working fine. When I press Ctrl C after interrupting this command, container automatically will killed and it's removed due to the dash dash rm command. Okay, the next one is the interactive and deattachment modes. So we need to understand this one basically for understanding. Okay, so I want to run nginx demo container, but foreground it's by default because we are not passing any command, any options. Okay, when I press here docker run nginx, it's started nginx and it's started printing all these things due to its foreground. Okay, once I press Ctrl C, it will go on, but it's not removed because we not pass dash dash rm command here. That's the reason it's available here. Okay, we can manually remove it. Okay, for removing container, docker rm hyphen f or docker let me again show you the full command instead of my shortcuts. Okay, docker rm and id, what was the id? Docker rm and id is 05. You can either pass 2 digit of image container id or 3 digit of container id, let's say, or you can pass the container name itself. So what is the container name? Container name was the default one. Okay, you can remove with the same, right? So run with interactive terminal. I want to get terminal of the Ubuntu. For that I am running with the it command. It I explained here. I keep standard in open even if not attached, and if not attached means we are not using docker exec command. Okay, that's the reason it will automatically open and allocate terminal to us. Here you can see we got terminal and attached with interactive mode, right? Okay, the next one is, okay, so let's remove this one, docker rm and 3d. This is the container id, first 2 digit. The next one is the deattach mode plus interactive. Okay, it's run in the background and we can use docker exec command as well with the background one. Okay, here you can see now it's run and gone in the background. And to connect it, let's say what was the name, dia, we can use docker shortcuts, docker exec container and container name. Again is this is the same thing, container. Okay, and after exiting its container is running, but in the above these two, once you exit from the container, this container will be stopped, but in the background one, when you exit container, it will not stop, right? You can see here it's running and you can connect it and do whatever you want, and after that exit it and again see its container is running, right? Let's remove this. You can read all these things in details. Okay, so custom images and tag. Let's say if you want to use custom images with its tag, then you can run with its tag. Okay, here I don't have a custom tag right now, but I'm using with um, latest tag, right? Again, here I used rm. Once I press Control C, and after exiting, you can see there is no container available because after exiting it's removed. Okay, you can use your own image, and you can provide the custom tag here. Let's say 2.0, 3.0, something like that. Okay, next one is the networking options. For networking option, why we use networking option, you can see here I already added. If you are using discovery of microservices like web, db, cache without needing fixed container name and ip, then you can create your own network, and you can isolate your multiple project with multiple network, right? And again, one another advantage of it, it's not fixed with the container name. Let's say if you want to keep container name as web01 and you want to set network name is web, then it is possible. Okay, but for that, let's create. I think in my case it's already there. No, it's was removed. Okay, so after creating network, you can just pass the network and your network name with the container. The command is same, and you can see here you are in the container. This was the simple, and we will see in the network alias how to use it. Okay, so container gone, and also you can add custom DNS if you want to. Then you can pass dash dash DNS and your DNS. Let's say I passed 8.8.8, which is Google DNS. You can pass Cloudflare DNS, and if you want to, if you have any custom your ISP DNS, then you can pass it. Okay, so how you know that which DNS is assigned in your container? For that, you need to pass the command cat etc and result.conf. Here you can see here name server is the 8.8.8.8. Okay, so let's remove this container, and next one is the alias. So in the alias, you can set your container name is different, but your network alias is different. Let's say I want to run a web server here. Okay, and I connected the web server. Let's run the DB server as well. Okay, I'm assuming this is the DB server. From the DB server, you can ping to web, and from web server you can ping the DB, right? And also you can ping the container name as well, but this is the best options to use network aliases. Let's say if you have multiple web server, then you can assign aliases to them and use in your production environment. But this is the concept, networking concept, which we will use in Docker Compose, not here. Docker run command is basically used for dev and test purposes. Okay, the next one is the volume mount persistent storage. Let me show you something before that. Let's say if I want to run here, and I want to remove this one D and don't want to this one. What happened? Oops, I actually running under the container, that's the reason. Okay, I did the cleanup and running this one. So I forwarded port 8080 and 80 here. Let me open. Okay, it's 8080. Now you can see I'm able to see inside the container. So let's say I'm going to nginx HTML. Okay, and echo you can see here I replace the whole page, but I want to keep this index.html. After exiting and after removing this container, okay, after removing this container, my again when I run the same command, and it will come with the default page. So I want to keep my existing changes in the container. For that we need to bind mount volume, right? Let's see. For that, let's remove the container first. Again, here you can see these commands are the same. Yes, I will explain the port but before that I want to explain this one. Okay, I'm mounting my existing path. What is the path? Let me tell you. This is the pwd command, pwd print working directory, and after working directory I added HTML. So let's see HTML. You can see here under the HTML there is one index.html. So basically I'm adding volume with the current working directory, and after that HTML. In my current directory and in the HTML there is one index.html. I'm sharing with the nginx. Okay, and opening the port to test it that my HTML is pointed properly or not. So once you click here, you can see here my changes is there. Let's change something here. cd HTML nano index.html, and this is day 3 docker run command. Okay, save it and refresh it. Okay, it is working fine, changes is also working fine, and I exited container. You can see here container gone, but again when I run the same thing my changes will be there. You can see here my changes is persisted, right? And you can add one more thing here. You can bind mount your volume with the read only, so no one can change from the container. Here we did the run container with adding RO read only permission, and let's test it. So I'm going to under the container and go inside the HTML folder, and after that add some text here. Okay, once you add some text here, you will get an error that base index.html read-only file system. In read-only file system, anyone cannot add any changes. This is the for security purpose. Let's say if you want to provide your container access to someone, in that case you can mount your volume as a read-only. That is the best for security purpose. Okay, let's remove this one. What was the name? Okay, cleanup done. Next one is the environment variable. You can set environment variable in your container. Let's say if you want to run your web application, for that you want to set your database credentials, host name or IP address, username, password, port, all these things. For that you need to pass -e and your variable name and its value, and this is the image name. So last one is the printing env directly, because I am running its interactive mode, so it will directly print. There is no deactivated mode. So you can see here my env is added there. And if you want to add in the background, so you can use that one. Okay, so let's clean that one and run this one, and after that go inside the container and print env. You can see your variable is there, right? This is the helpful for you can connect multiple your microservices with their credentials, right? So let's remove this. Next one is the you can set specific UID and GID. We will see in the Docker Compose as well, but here just for testing purpose I want to show you. We landed in the container and let's see ID. We used ID as 00 and UID as group ID as 1000. So you can see everything seems fine, right? Next one is the port mapping. So port mapping is very important options in the Docker run command. Let's say this is the default one. Here you can see the command is same, container name is same, and we added -p. -p equal to is port, and this is the 8080. This is the host port. Host means my machine, and this one is the for container, and this is the one is the image. Once I run it, this is in the interactive mode, so you can see here the default page come, right? And another example is if you want to add multiple ports. Let's say in your Docker container there are multiple services is running, so 8080 you can point to 80 and 8081 point to 81, some similar to, so it is also working fine. Let's say 80 is working fine. Let's check the 81, it is also working fine, right? The next one is, let me close this one. The next one is the you can also point the static one as if you want to forward port range. In that case you can also do that. For port range you can define port range for host and port range for the container and just run it. So with the help of this you can open multiple port ranges. And next one is the working directory and entry point. So what is working directory? Let's say if you have web server and you want to run it, and after using docker exec command you want to land directly on the working directory, that would be better. In that case we set, you can see here, our working directory as app, so we landed as app. And here I want to mention one thing, that all available options here we are seeing that is also available in the docker compose, so no worries about that, everything is available in the docker compose. Okay, we will see in the docker compose series. And yes, by default docker by default ubuntu have uh, bin bash entry point. Once you run, you can see here. Okay, not this one. Yes, once you run it, you can see here, this is the bin bash. Okay, what is the difference between bin bash and bin sh? Bin sh is the older version and bash is the newer version. In the bash you can see the your user id and the your host name here, and after that colon the path where you are. Let's say I am in the root, and here this has showing that root user. If you are using another user, in that case you will see in the, as a dollar, right? But this is the default entry point of ubuntu, but if you want to change your entry point, and you can do it. For that, let's say I want to use bin sh, so oops, my bad. Okay, so we removed it. You can see now the default entry point, we change it and we landed the sh. So in sh you are not able to see your user, your host name, your user information, your current working directory, there is nothing. But this option is the very good to change your entry point, right? And the next one is the resources limit. It is not good way to assign your whole resources to container. Let's say in my case I have a VM which have 2 core CPU and 4 GB RAM, but I want to limit my container, I don't want to assign the whole things. And for that we can pass memory, so 256 megabyte memory assigned and 1 CPU we assigned. For that, how you can see here, so for that you can see basically this is under the docker container, because we not run in background mode. For that we need to use another terminal. You can see here we assigned 256 MIB memory, and CPU is not showing. Basically this is the uses, that's the reason it's not showing. If you want to see, then you can just load test inside the container, simple apt update, install stress, and do these things. Okay, so let's close it and let's clean up done and restart policy. So if you want to use, if you want to restart your container after exiting it, you can use restart policy. I will cover it in the restart policy section in deep dive, but here just I want to show you basic run command, how you can run with the restart options. There are 3 options available here: always, none, and the third one is the, I think, on policy. So we will see in the restart policy. Okay, so you can see here it is working fine. Basically here I am explaining docker run command. not the its options. I will cover restart separately. Okay, and advanced use case, you can see here, you can set custom host name. Let's say I want to keep my container name is dia, but want to set host name as web server. So once you run it and dia, and you can see here your host name is set, right? And you can verify it with the host name, and also you can either use get host name, right? So this is basically helpful for if you want to keep your host name separate, and you want to your container name is separate. In that case it will be helpful. Also you can use health check. Again I will cover health check in the health check video in the deep dive, but here I am just simply showing you. Okay, so for health check the rest command is the same. Here I added the health check .cmd and curl, adding the localhost, because localhost you can see here we are using nginx. That's the reason we are adding health check command here. So once you run, oops, you can see here health check is starting, and it will take some time. How much time? Because health check interval is 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds it will show it is up or not. Okay, so again see, again it's starting. Till now 18 seconds is done. We will wait for 30 seconds, 28 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, you can see after 30 seconds it's showing healthy. So health check is very most important for critical microservices. We will see in the health check video section, and also we will see in the Docker Compose as well. Okay, next one is the host PID, but before that let me show you. Let's say if I am not passing PID, in that case what happened? And I am under the container. You can see here only 3 process is running under the container. One is the PID 1 and 9 and 17, base and top. That's it. But if you want to share your host PID with the container to do some task, we will see in the advanced options, you can do that. Once you run it and again go in the dia, and I attach the container, and you can see here in the top command you can see my whole terminal, my whole VM, all process ID shared with the container. So I can do any task related to my host PID from the container, right? Okay, here I did some useful tips. Why use RM and ITD, bind mount, env, everything, and some reference cheat sheet. And if you want to contribute, you are welcome, and you can connect me here, all links available. Okay, I think that is enough for this part. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any question, leave a comment. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. See you in the next video.